So a couple years ago, I was driving from San Francisco Airport down to Silicon Valley to meet with a new client. I had Google Maps giving me turn-by-turn directions to get to the client's office. And at some point, I stepped on the brakes and my phone went flying. Pick up my phone, put it back, and after a while I realized that it was really quiet in the car. And I sailed right on past my off-ramp and headed down to Gilroy. My smartphone was not much of a personal digital assistant. It wasn't very helpful. The device didn't do a good job at adapting to me and what I needed. Now the problem is the technology is really awesome, but it doesn't adapt to the way we work and what we really need. It doesn't, for example, our smartphones don't identify false touches. We have to adapt our behavior to what they need. So our whole culture is now based on feeding our phones and standing around doing what the phone needs. It only works while you're standing there in front of it. What would be better than this? Well, what would be really awesome is if my phone could act like a partner. If it could use the information available to it, adapt itself to me, and actually help me. That would be a really smart device. And there's a whole bunch of these things coming down the pike. What would it be like if my devices were actually smart? Well, it means that I could reach out and do something. I could go and adjust the car stereo without having to worry about, am I hitting the right button? Or I could touch my phone without Google Maps cutting me off. My specific area of interest is touch, because it's very core to our experience as humans. And I'm working on solutions to make that better in our smart devices. Now, who am I? My name's Mike Kentley. I'm a computer chip designer and product developer. I've been doing this for about 30 years. I also like to brew beer and bake bread. Basically, I make a lot of complicated things. And I have set my focus to devices that just work, even if you can't see them. Now, our current crop of devices are what I call just okay. You've probably had this experience. You say, okay, Google, send a text. And 5 minutes later, after manually entering things, you got it to send the text. Don't try that while you're driving. Better solution. Google, send a text to Kieran, take out the trash. The phone says, got it. Sending a text to Kieran. You say, thank you. It says you're welcome. And you can trust that it actually worked because the device is pretty smart. Now, what technologies make this possible? AI and machine learning is a biggie. And that's currently moving from places like the data center with giant farms of graphics cards into low-cost, low-power computer chips that can run right in your devices. The technologies that make this stuff happen are arriving right now. The software is getting better, the hardware is getting cheaper, and they're both coming together to make really smart devices right now. So what can I expect to see in the very near future? Maybe not tomorrow, but very soon I'll be able to walk down the street using my phone in the way I feel like using it and Facebooking while I'm walking. The phone's looking out ahead of me and says, hey, don't trip over the garbage can. Thank you. It's like a partner rather than a device. But even better, what about a smartphone that you swirl your finger on it and it raises a braille keyboard because you're blind? And it looks just like a normal smartphone, but it adapts to the person that's using it. So what am I doing in all this? I said my interest is in touch. So I've been working with my wife, Dr. Kathy Hoyt, to develop something we call intuitive touch technology. It combines hardware and software to use touch in a way that lets you not have to look at the device. You tap, slide, swirl, it uses machine learning, it adapts to you. It's a combination of both hardware and software. We're going to do a whole bunch of different things with this. The first product we're doing is a vibrator for women with no buttons. It's a unique shape, unique set of features. You swirl, you tap. It turns that into a pattern for multiple motors and remembers it. For a minute, an hour, a month later, it doesn't care. And we're not stopping there. The next thing is devices that make it so you can just forget the controller's there. I've always wanted to step into the world of Ready Player One or Minecraft and feel like I'm actually there in-game. The technology with touch, providing realistic feedback, lets you forget that the controller is even there. So from vibrators to gaming devices, these things are going to change the way we interact with the world around us. So watch for these things to be happening because there's a whole bunch of neat things coming down the pike. And you can see what we're doing at unitouch.com. And by the way, there's a ton of privacy and security implications with this stuff that I'm also interested in, so look me up if you want to talk about it.